What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Side Project Brewing, and they're out of Maplewood, Missouri, and this is their pizza lager. So I believe, and we'll talk more about it in a moment, I believe this is a Texas-inspired corn lager that comes in at 4.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review, and this can is just over 5 months old. I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a very good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Sierra Hotel, for this beer. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies he sent my way, and he sent me an amazing box of goodies that contained 28 unique beers and meads, and included were 2 beers from Side Project. This and a collaboration they did with Private Press out in California. Huge, big barrel-aged beer. So I thought I would start with this one first. Now, this is an interesting beer because when I unboxed it, I was like, pizza lager? I don't know. And then I'm like, do they have a pizzeria? Because it says world-class beer and pizza for sharing, diner to drive through. So did a little bit of a Google search, and apparently they opened up a pizzeria across from the brewery earlier this year. I think it was back in February, because this one was canned on February 13th of this year. And what's funny is when I did a little Google search, as I said, there was a thread on Beer Advocate, and they were talking about how this is apparently a rebrand of a beer they call, I think it's Content Moderator. I had it open and untapped. Let me see if I can get it back. But it was, I think it's called Content Moderator. And it was more or less what I said. Yeah, Content Moderator is, it says from brewer Drew Durish comes this Texas-inspired corn lager with German Perle and Saphir hops. Yeah, it's 4.5% as well. And on the bottom of this can, it does say Confused Moderator. So you put 2 and 2 together, it does seem like this is a rebranded Content Moderator. So I don't know if they brew this consistently, if it's like year-round or it's only available at the pizzeria or they just brewed it once. I have no idea. I did not see any information as far as that goes. But this is apparently a Texas-inspired corn lager with those 2 German hops. I'm here for it. Now, just over 5 months old. Hopefully it doesn't explode. We're good. We are definitely good. We're going to use the big mug because why not? Technically an American lager, but who cares? We're going to put it in the mug and we're going to have a good time with it. So I'd assume they, want people to drink this with their pizzeria offerings. So I think from that aspect, makes a lot of sense. But anyway, how does that look? Well, it looks like I got fucking Dirty Glass Mafia out the wazoo. But as far as a beer goes, ladies and gentlemen, that looks spectacular. It does. It looks like a beautiful, lager of some sort in the realm of an American lager, Texas corn lager. All right, so my hand, you can see through it, crystal clear. It has a beautiful golden straw color. It does look like an American lager, like an American adjunct, American light, whatever. Texas corn lager, sure. But I mean, it definitely plays the role. I think it looks beautiful in the glass, and I'm here for it. Yeah, you can even see it better there. Good carbonation. Finger of a, I'd say, off-white, really creamy yet somewhat soap sudsy looking head, but I think it plays the role for what they're going for. Nose. Definitely a little bit of like a corny tinge. But then it has a nice like biscuity kind of malt character as well. So yeah, a little bit of corn with biscuit. I'm getting this like nice herbaceous, and it might be just because this is a pizza lager, so in my mind I'm thinking herbs. Thinking like basil and thyme. There is like a little bit of like an herbaceous kind of grassiness. I don't know if I'd specify basil or thyme specifically. I mean, that's just kind of stupid in my opinion. Because right now I'm looking at that. And I love the label too. So simplistic, but reminds me of a classic old school pizzeria. So a touch of like a fruitiness here, like a citrus, like a lemon. I always say red apple, white pear, whether it's the core, whether it's the skin, but kind of that, lighter fruit, whiter fruit like that. Touch of a floral kind of aspect as well. Yeah, it smells beautiful, and just based on the nose alone, this would definitely go well with a slice of pizza, no doubt. So let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Sierra Hotel. In the taste, more of that corn's coming to the forefront. But what's wild is that to me, whenever I get corn in a lager, it's typically an American adjunct lager, a cheaper lager, American light lager, right? This reminds me of like a craft, like Mexican lager, because a lot of craft breweries will put out a Mexican lager with, you know, they'll use corn, some kind of corn, flake maize, something like that. And it doesn't taste like cheap and artificial. That's what this beer is. It doesn't taste cheap or artificial. And it has a nice, crisp, refreshing nature to it. Body and mouthfeel. Body's actually nice. I'd say approaching medium. Not thin at 4.5%. Actually a little bit more heft than anticipated. The mouthfeel, as I already said, it's super crisp, extremely clean, very refreshing. It has a moderate to high carbonation dancing on the tongue, kind of what you want when you're pairing it with, you know, some kind of pizza. You want something to be refreshing and kind of wipe away everything and cleanse the palate. The taste is not overly complex, but a beer like this is not meant to be. That biscuity malt I get right at the forefront. Some of that corn, like I said, it almost has a slight, like, I want to say toasted corn, because it's not really toasted, but a little bit, like almost getting into toasted corn. But biscuity malt, a little bit of corn, and then as it passes through, lemon, that red apple, that white pear, lighter white fruits. You can maybe even see like a dollop of like a stone fruit, like a under-ripened like apricot or nectarine. And then it finishes with that grassy herbaceousness, a touch of a floral kick. This is very dry, bone dry, with a mild to moderate bitterness, very well balanced from that aspect. Might lean a little bit more dry than maybe some folks are thinking. Definitely a lot more dry than like, you know, a typical like cheaper adjunct lager, like, you know, a macro lager. This is nice. This is nice, and I can see why they kind of repurposed this one. If that is the case, I'm not saying that with certainty, but based on the ABV, based on the bottom of the can, what I read on Beer Advocate, it does seem like they kind of, maybe they slightly tweaked this one, you know, to release it as the pizza lager, so it pairs better with the pizza. Regardless of the, you know, if it is rebranded or not, I can't speak to that because I also have never had Content Moderator, so I don't know. But I will say that this is a very nice, refreshing, lighter lager. Good characteristics, nice body, nice mouthfeel. I'm not screaming from the rooftops, but this is not a beer that you probably would be screaming from the rooftops. But if I did have a nice slice of za in front of me, I think it would be nice. I think it really would pair pretty well. 4.5%, I can't tell, but you don't expect to. A little bit of that sulfuric lager kind of funk to it. Usually I get that more from German lagers like Hellas's and Pilsners and things of that nature, but there is a little bit of that here, just a little bit of that sulfuric lager kind of vibe. Pour the rest in here, and then I'm going to give it a rating. I'm not going to go, like I said, super high or anything, but you got to keep in mind what this beer is meant for, and that's, you know, to pair with pizza. But even in general, if you just buy this to just enjoy as a lager on its own, I think you would be happy with it if you do like these types of beers. So, pizza lager from Side Project. I'm going to give this a high 4 to 5. I'll go 4.1. I think that is an absolutely appropriate score for this one. No doubt, very nice, but you know, not anything amazing, but I didn't expect it to be. Just a nice beer. Price point and availability. I did check, or people did say on that Beer Advocate thread that this is $16 a 4-pack, which is, I think, the same price as Content Moderator. That's pricey. I'm just going to be honest with you. $4 for a can of this, pricey. This should be like $12, honestly. I mean, there's some breweries that would make this $10. To beef 16, $4 a can for this, no. I know Side Project gets hype. I know they're one of the more hype breweries nowadays. Not for beers like this, but, you know, for all their barrel-aged craziness and whatnot. But $4 for a can of that is a little bit ridiculous. I could even stomach 14, but it should be around 12. So, yeah, it is pricey at $4 a can, without question. I didn't pay for it because Sierra Hotel is awesome, but I would not rebuy that for $4 a can, even though I do enjoy it. And availability, I have no idea with Side Project. It's probably available at the brewery, maybe the pizzeria, and outside that, I couldn't tell you. So if anybody does know, please post in the comment section. I'm sure Sierra Hotel got it like as an extra in a trade and whatnot. But yeah, it was fun to try something different from Side Project that isn't like a big barrel-aged imperial stout or some kind of crazy beer, but they did brew this well. I got to give them kudos. It's a well-brewed, well-executed, well-made beer. It's just for $4 a can, a little bit pricey. If we took in consideration the availability of the price, I dropped this to like a 3.75. Just to be honest with you, a little bit pricey, and you know, you really can't get it all that easily. But I rate the beer on what's in my glass as opposed to everything that surrounds it. And the liquid in here is a 4.1. It's just everything surrounding it knocks it down a bit. So 4.1 out of 5 for Pizza Lager from Side Project. If you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it. Sierra Hotel, I'll be chatting with you, seeing what you thought about it. I'd assume you had a can of yourself. I think it's nice, but nothing all that, you know, amazing, or it's not like this. I'm going to remember this if somebody asks me about Side Project, but it's not memorable from like, oh my God, it's one of the best lagers I've ever had. So, but I wish I had some pizza with this one. So anyway, 4.5%, really can't taste it. Anyway, shutting this one down. Appreciate it. Thanks again to Sierra Hotel. Thanks to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one, cheers.